Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and the backdrop's back. Long live the backdrop. But in today's video, I wanted to talk about 5 players that you guys should probably keep an eye on during tomorrow's preseason game versus the Tennessee Titans. Now, a lot of these guys are either backups who are battling for a starting position right now, or they are starters who have, quite frankly, a lot to improve on, especially from last week, and you know that kind of is a dead giveaway of a couple of the guys I'm going to be talking about. But the first guy that I wanted to talk about is Bucs cornerback Ryan Smith. Now, Ryan Smith did not have a very good game last week. Like I said in the review, he got beat a couple of times, and he had a really bad pass interference call. And overall, he was just getting outplayed by guys like Carlton Davis, Stewart, and a couple other guys as well. So really, things are not looking too good for Ryan Smith, but there is an opportunity for him to bounce back. And I know you guys in my comments section, you're not big fans of Ryan Smith. That's fine. I completely understand. But with Brent Grimes out and with Vernon Hargreaves out, there is a key opportunity here for Ryan Smith and also for Stewart and Carlton Davis. These guys are going to be getting a lot of playing time. And, you know, I'll throw JV and Elliott in there too. You know, a lot of people were hyped about Elliott last year. Not so much this year, but hey, you know, I still like him. I still think he's a good guy. So there's a couple of these cornerbacks who are going to be getting a lot of playing time, and I really expect Ryan Smith to be getting a lot of playing time because right now, him and JV and Elliott, they're kind of the only two guys who have a whole lot of experience at the cornerback position, so they're going to be playing a whole lot. They might even play, like, most of the game just because of how... You know, you don't have enough cornerbacks to start rotating out these guys. So we might be seeing the cornerbacks tomorrow play the whole game, which would be very, very interesting on how they perform. If Ryan Smith has another bad game, ooh, I don't know what to say about that one if he has another really bad game because, yeah, that wouldn't be good, especially if Carlton Davis and Stewart just completely play, you know, great again. So that wouldn't be too good for Ryan Smith at all. So he definitely needs to come in, have a bounce-back game, and just show that he can be a better cornerback because, you know, a couple of you guys had mentioned it to me on Twitter. Tom had mentioned it to me on Twitter where they said, you know, he just looks confused. He'll look around at his coaches and be like, I don't know what I'm doing. And he's so different in practice. Like, he doesn't look bad in practice, but then whenever it comes to game time, he just looks terrible. So I really don't know what's going to happen with Ryan Smith. I don't even know if he might not make the roster, guys. I don't know. But he definitely needs to have a bounce-back game against Tennessee here. The second guy that I want to talk about is another member of the secondary. It's rookie Jordan Whitehead. And I guess you can kind of lump Chris Conte and Keith Tandy into this group as well because... Right now, you know, Jordan Whitehead has another really good game here because last game he was all over the field. He did very good in pass coverage. He did very good in stopping the run. He just looked like a very good safety during the time he was able to play. Now, I know, again, oh, well, James, it's against backups and it's only one game. I get that, but I can get excited, okay? Just let me dream, okay? So... the point is that if he comes out here, and again, like Carlton Davis and like Stewart, if he has another really nice game, well then, you know, maybe you can start, you know, wedging him into that starter conversation, you know? Chris Conte and Keith Tandy, I don't think they're full locks to be starters on this team. I think they're, you know, pretty good. You know, I think they more likely than not be the starters, but Whitehead's really going out of his way to say, like, hey, look at me. I can start too. Why aren't you starting me? So it's going to be really interesting to see. I'm very excited about Jordan Whitehead, Carlton Davis, and Stewart, and I really think that they're going to continue, you know, their momentum coming into the second game, and just really the momentum all three of them have had just from since they've been drafted. All three of them have looked really good. So I'm excited for this young secondary. The future's here, guys. The future's here, and we have to embrace it. And that's not even mentioning Justin Evans, so, you know, and Vernon Hargreaves. So, yeah, hey, things are looking up. The next guy I want to talk about is Devante Lambert. Now, I know this is kind of like a wild card pick, like, James, why are you talking about Devante Lambert? The reason I'm talking about Devante Lambert is because of a video I just made yesterday talking about Stevie Tuipulotu getting released. Now, this is a big opportunity. Now, like I said, the Buccaneers, like I said in the last video, the Buccaneers did sign Drew Iddings, who is literally like this athletic monster, but I think there's a unique opportunity here for Devante Lambert to make a case for himself and say, like, hey, if you guys are going to carry 5 defensive defensive tackles, why not carry me? Because Stevie T's not there now, and a lot of people thought that Stevie T was going to make this roster. It was a pretty surprising move, because we all thought, like, oh, you know, they're probably going to carry 5 defensive tackles. Stevie T's looked pretty decent. He'll probably make this roster, and they'll carry 5 defensive tackles. And, you know, that'll be the end of it. They might carry, like, 10 defensive linemen, you know, 5 defensive ends, 5 defensive tackles, and there you go. That's your defensive line. And now Devante Lambert has an opportunity. If the Buccaneers do carry 5 defensive tackles, he might be the guy. He definitely has the most experience in terms of reserve defensive tackles. Drew Whittings hasn't played for the team yet. There's another guy, I think his name's Bizanton or something. I can't remember off the top of my head. I'll put it down in the comment section below. But he doesn't have any experience either. Devante Lambert's played a couple of games, you know. I know it might be only preseason and maybe a regular season game here and there, but still, that's more experience than any of the other reserve defensive linemen or defensive tackles right now. So it's a very unique opportunity, and if he comes out, has a good game, you know, it could earn him a roster spot, because we're getting, you know, I've said in the past couple of videos, we're getting to that point where, you know, some of these guys, you know, it's either they make a name for themselves and they start playing really good, or they kind of phase out and they end up not making the roster. So guys like Devante Lambert and Ryan Smith both have come out there and have good games, you know. Maybe not Ryan Smith as much, but Devante Lambert, you know, he needs to make, you know, he has to prove that he can make this roster. So it's going to be very interesting. The next guy I wanted to talk about actually is Ronald Jones. Now, you know, last game I wasn't, you know, I wasn't too impressed with Ronald Jones, if I'm being completely honest. I thought he did a couple of things good. He had a really nice cut for that touchdown, which was dirty. That was like the move of the night, okay? He had the sickest cut, you know, and it resulted in a touchdown. That was nice. What I need to see from Ronald Jones, you know, mainly is I need to see that he's improved as a pass-catching running back. We've seen what he can do as a runner in college and high school, you know, whatnot, all of that. But I need to see what he can do as a catcher. And he's been, you know, he's been trying it throughout these past training camps. And, you know, the Buccaneers just recently had 2 training camp practices in Tennessee, and he's caught a couple of nice passes there. So I'm hoping that they use him a little bit more, and I'm hoping to see improvement from him, because I want Ronald Jones to be that 3-down back guy. You know, I don't want to have to rely on Charles Sims. And, you know, because if Ronald Jones can prove to be a 3-down back and a receiving back, that's really, really good. The reason it's really, really good is because you don't become predictable in your play calling anymore, because you don't have to say, oh, great, none of our running backs can catch besides Charles Sims. All right, throw in Charles Sims, which, you know, Dirk Cutter's done in the past, and it can become predictable at times. So if you have Ronald Jones as the receiving back instead of Charles Sims, and he's your other back on the first 2 downs, then you don't know what's going to happen if you're a defensive coordinator. You know, it could be like 3rd and 3 or something. It's like, oh, are they going to do a short pass, or are they going to run? You know, it's really valuable to have a full 3-down back, because it makes your play calling way less predictable. So I'm really hoping to see improvement in his receiving game for sure, like hands down. And then finally, the last guy I want to talk about is, well, Chandler Catanzaro. And I know a lot of people have said, oh, we need to get a new kicker. James, we need to get a new kicker. Chandler Catanzaro sucks. I miss Matt Bryant. I miss Matt Bryant. And I miss Matt Bryant too. And Martin Gramatica. And Patrick Murray. Why did we get rid of Patrick Murray? I don't know. He was pretty cool. But I trust Chandler Catanzaro, guys. I trust Chandler Catanzaro, and you guys should trust him too. The reason I trust Chandler Catanzaro is because it wasn't that bad, okay? And I know a lot of people are going to say, blasphemy, James, blasphemy. It was terrible. He missed a field goal and an extra point. But, hear me out, please, I beg of you. The reason I think it could work is because, yes, he missed the extra point, and, you know, missing extra points aren't fun. But, you know, a lot of kickers have missed extra points recently. No kicker is perfect. We can't expect our kicker to go out there and make every single thing that we perceive as an easy kick. Sometimes things just happen, you know? And then for the missed field goal, that was the 53-yarder. That's gonna, you know, a lot of kickers can't make a 53-yarder. I know I'm very heavy on the defense for Chandler Catanzaro, but I trust him, okay? But yeah, there's a handful of kickers in the league who can't make a 53-yarder, just because that's a tough field goal to make, you know? So really, I'm not too worried about it, especially considering how in all the training camps that I've been to and all the training camps that I've read about, Chandler Catanzaro's made almost every single kick in those training camps. So if he's hitting in practice, then he should be able to do okay in games. It's a way different scenario than the ye old tale of Roberto Aguayo and Nick Folk. That was last year, by the way. Isn't that crazy that that was last year? The whole Nick Folk, Roberto Aguayo thing, that was 1 year ago. That's insane. But in that case, both Nick Folk and Roberto Aguayo not only weren't making the kicks in games, cough cough, Nick Folk versus the freaking Patriots, that was awful, but it also wasn't, they weren't able to make their kicks in practice as well. I think they would only make like half of their kicks in practice, which, by the way, if that ever happens again, and Jason Light ever watches this video, or if you guys want to help me out and let him know, if that ever happens again, where we see a report that says like, oh, Bucs kicker only goes 2 for 5 in practice, we need to like berate Jason Light with messages on like Twitter or something and say, hey dude, you should probably get rid of that kicker or at least bring in somebody else and see how that goes, because like, dude, I think the writing was on the wall for those guys, for Nick Folk and Roberto Aguayo. But yeah, I expect Chandler Catanzaro to have a bounce back game. Obviously he's going to be an automatic player to watch because duh, he's our kicker, and the Bucs have been cursed at kicker for the past couple of years, so yeah, that makes total sense to me. But yeah, that's pretty much the 5 guys. Ryan Smith needs to come back and have a bounce back game. I guess Chandler Catanzaro needs to have a bounce back game as well. Ronald Jones definitely needs to improve as a pass catching back, and I need to be able to, I want to see what he can do more as a pure runner as well behind a healthy offensive line, because I know last game the offensive line was really shaken up and we were having guys who were playing out of position, so I need to see a little bit more of what he can do, not just as a pure runner, but I need to see some improvement as a receiving back as well. Jordan Whitehead needs to continue on his amazing momentum along with guys like MJ Stewart and Carlton Davis. And then finally, Devante Lambert needs to really have a good game just to, you know, say, hey, you guys want a 5th defensive tackle? I'm totally your guy, you know? So I think a handful of these guys are going to be good. I think Ronald Jones, Whitehead, Chandler Catanzaro, and Devante Lambert are going to have a great game. Ryan Smith, I don't know. I don't know about Ryan Smith anymore, guys, okay? But let me know what you think about all this down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the background. And I know the audio is different for this video. I'm recording this on my iPhone. So, you know, hey, at least you can hear it this time, right? I fixed that problem, so if it sounds like I'm in like a hallway or something, sorry, I'll work to fix it later. But, you know, I'm trying a new setup, so I hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope y'all enjoyed, and as always, I will see you in the next video or live stream. But until then, goodbye for now, guys, and as always, go Bucs!